This is Steve Fancy. I live in Antigua Cove, and I'm a year-round resident within the South Bay CDD. I decided to post this YouTube video to provide people that live in the South Bay CD with some background information about the development of the remaining commercial lots in Little Harbor by developer Anthony Solo. Anthony has formed a company called Little Harbor Investments, LLC. And I know a lot of residents in the CDD have not been able to attend the workshops or the CDD meetings where Anthony has presented information about his proposed development plan for Little Harbor. At the August 14th CDD meeting, some of the Board of Supervisors said that they would like to get input from the residents of the CDD about the proposed development plan. And I know some meetings are being planned by some of the HOAs and the POA to get input from the residents. So I have attended 3 of the workshops that Tony Solo held in conjunction with the last 3 CDD meetings, and the pictures and the information that I'm about to present are based on what I heard at those workshops and the information in the agenda package for the CDD meetings. The pictures that I'm going to show you were taken of the TV screen in the meeting room when Tony Solo was giving his presentation to the CDD board and others. So the colored areas on this slide, this shows the overall South Bay CDD footprint. The colored areas on the slide are the various areas that the developer is proposing to develop. And I'll be showing you more detailed information about each of these areas and what is being proposed. So many years ago, when the overall Little Harbor development was first laid out, I understand that Hillsborough County approved a plan for 1,500 housing units, which includes apartments, townhomes, condos, and single-family homes. And at that time, a series of tax-exempt bonds were issued to pay for the initial development, such as putting in the seawalls and the roads and the storm sewers and other infrastructure. So I should point out that the upper part of this peninsula here, so this is north of where the Sunset Grill is now, this includes 85 condos, the Bahia del Sol condos, and 1 single-family home that was built by Paul Dickman back in 1963. These are not part of the they are not part of the CDD, and they're not part of the Little Harbor POA. So those units there are not. But I'm assuming that they are included in the county's 1,500 units approved for this area. So I'm not certain of that. But so if those 86 units are included in the 1,500, that means we currently have 686 units that are built and occupied. And the proposed new development may then include up to 814 additional units, including a 100-room hotel. So anyways, the overall plan allows for 1,500 units, and right now we're down somewhere around in the 600 to 700 range. So the proposed development plan includes buying the Hammerhead and the Dust Bowl. So this orange area down here is part of the Hammerhead, which wraps around here, and this area here that's currently used as a parking lot is what we call the Dust Bowl. So the developer would buy the Hammerhead and Dust Bowl areas from Harborside Suites. They would buy the Sunset Grill restaurant from Suntex and basically bulldoze it in order to build a new restaurant and retail space plus a 100-room hotel. They would buy several of the currently vacant lots from the bondholders, so these green areas here and this one down here, and these are all currently owned by the bondholders. And they would buy part of the beach and the parking lots and part of the roadways from the CDD. Those are owned by the CDD. So some of these areas here that are part of this area here that's in blue. And so I heard the developer say that it will take, probably 2 years to get all of the permits and approvals needed, get everything ready to start construction. But I also heard him say that some of the construction may start as early as next year. So this This is an artist's conception of what the development might look like. So this is the southern peninsula, part of the Hammerhead. And the developers emphasize that things may change as part of the permitting process and because of input from the CDD board and residents. So this is just an early artist's conception to try to help us visualize what this new development would look like. So on this South Peninsula, there will be approximately 22 waterfront lots. When I add up these lots here, I come up with around 22, plus 2 rows of townhomes. And it has not yet been determined. My understanding is there going to be one builder for all of these single-family homes, or will each buyer be able to bring in their own builder, and they'll all look a little bit different. That hasn't been determined yet, as far as I know. An important thing to point out on the slide is that all along the bay here, there will be a 9-foot seawall along the entire length, including up past our existing pier and past this new pier that would be built up here on what's called Parcel I. So there's a 9-foot seawall. And the developer's talking about bringing in a lot of dirt to raise all of these areas here that will be built upon, raise them up to 11 feet high. So there'd be a lot of change in the elevation here. So picture this 9-foot seawall, and then there would be some stairs or in different places to get down to the beach. The widest area of the beach that will remain is where it's currently the widest, just south of Sunset Grill. So here's our existing pier where the Sunset Grill is, and then just south of there, that would be the area of beach that have the widest. A lot of this, anything above the high tide line is private property, and so purchasing this and putting in a seawall and all that is part of the plan. So the developer has talked about privatizing the beach, meaning that unless you own property in the CDD or you're renting a unit is part that within the CDD, that the general public may not be able to come in and park and go to the beach. So it's not yet certain whether the county and the state and the other authorities will require a certain amount of public access and public parking, but he has mentioned privatizing the beach as a possibility. So in this slide, I'll also point out the proposed new townhomes here on Mangrove Point. And so these new townhomes here, and then a series of docks along the marina where those, for the people that buy those townhomes. All right, where there will really be some changes is in front where our existing pier is now. So as I mentioned, the existing Sunset Grill and parking lots and all that would be bulldozed. A lot of dirt would be brought in to raise everything up to 11 feet. There would be this 9-foot seawall along the shore. And so this is an aerial view of what's currently being proposed. It includes a 100-room hotel, a condo hotel with another 50 condos, a new restaurant and some retail space, and they said possibly a coffee shop. It's not certain yet what all the retail shops and things would be. But and then also there's going to be 2 5-story parking garages in this area. So to help you get oriented, so here's our existing pier. This area right here is where the Sunset Grill currently is. The inn, which of course stays, and then this is where Hook's Restaurant and our existing pool that the POA leases, and plus a second pool here and the POA meeting room. So that just to kind of help you get oriented. You can also see here, this is where the current pickleball courts are and the tennis court. The pickleball will go away and there will be replaced by buildings. At the workshops I attended, there have been a lot of questions about where the new pickleball court's going to go, and so far I haven't heard a good answer to that. But it may be that they build some new pickle courts somewhere as part of this new development based on the input they get from the CDD board and the residents. So parcel I, this is the again the existing pier down here. This is where the pickleball courts and tennis court and the basketball court, all of that is now. The old helipad used to be right here. So that will have some new townhome buildings built on it. Plus you see there will be an additional pier built that has some docking space for people that buy these townhomes. Will have ability to have a dock for boats. So parcel K, which is the vacant lot that's west of Hook's Restaurant. So here's Hook's Restaurant and the POA swimming pool. This is being called Inlet Shores. And there'll be some new townhomes. Be a total of 40 townhomes. And I heard the developer say that this may be one of the first areas that's actually where construction starts. This may be one of the first areas that's built. So here's an aerial view of that Inlet Shores. It includes a clubhouse, a swimming pool. This is one area where the developers said they might be able to put some pickleball courts. It includes 2 5-story parking garages that I indicated here with this PG. Those are part of this plan for this area. At the workshops, when people asked where the new pickleball courts might be located, the developer did point to this area as one possibility. And someone asked about, building a building that has air conditioning. And he said, well, really, that's just not financially feasible. You're talking about a multi-million-dollar building, in order to have air conditioning and, more than one level and all that. And it's just economically, it's not feasible. So anyways, it's unclear where the new pickleball courts will be. All right, and then the last major area that the artist's conception is called Marina Point. So here's the main guardhouse when you come into Little Harbor, and between there and the High and Dry building over here on the right, this currently big vacant lot next to the marina will have 2 6-story buildings containing 220 condos. So there'll be 2 entrances. One is kind of halfway along this straightaway along the marina here. Halfway is one of the entrance and exits there. And then the other is right over here on this corner where you come around this tight curve near the High and Dry building. That's where one of the entrance and exit, the other entrance and exit to this Marina Point condos will be. So you'll see that there's also these condos will have their own swimming pool and some kind of a clubhouse and common area. All right, so this is a diagram from the agenda package for the August 13th CDD meeting, which is posted on the CDD website. The developer is asking the CDD whether it will sell these areas, which are part of making the overall development plan work. So you'll see this includes the existing parking lots and roadways. This is currently the Sunset Grill, but the big, what's called the South parking lot area and part of the beach that's next to that parking lot, and then another beach area here in front of what's now the Sunset Grill, and then the Sunset Grill parking area and the roadways. Anyways, all of these blue areas, the developer is asking the CDD whether they will sell those as part of making this whole plan come together. So before the CDD supervisors make a decision, they're asking for input from our residents about the current amenities and what is important to people, what are our priorities, and the overall, my understanding is the overall feeling about the pros and cons of the proposed development. So there's 5 HOAs included in the CDD, and these 5 HOAs are also make up the Little Harbor POA. So that's the townhomes at Little Harbor, the Point townhomes at Little Harbor, the Inn, Marina View, and Antigua Cove. So my understanding is that several of these HOAs will be holding meetings during the last 2 weeks of August to get input from their members, and then there will be a meeting in early September between the 5 CDD supervisors plus the 5 POA board members, one representing each of the HOAs, plus the developer, to discuss the input that the HOAs have received from their members. That's what I'm hearing. So the next CDD meeting will be Wednesday, September 10th, and the CDD supervisors may be making decisions at that time that affect the development plans going forward. Right now they're looking for input from people. So that's the end of my overview and from what I've heard at the various meetings and workshops, and I hope this was helpful.